Hi, this is Carla Pendleton again. I am in my winter studio in Texas, and we are going over how to paint peonies using a one-fire finger painted method. Now, we did the finger painting on step 1. We're ready to begin other work on step 2, and what we will start with is stems. Now, these stems on peonies are fairly heavy because it's a big flower, so you don't want to put a violet stem on it or anything that looks as thin as a violet stem. I am picking up some old gold green, which is my medium value of green, with a little bit of black green mixed into it, and I'm using this very tiny, I would call it a 1/16 of an inch quill brush. I'm going to move my darkest color in underneath that flower and probably pull it a little bit further down. I happen to know I'm going to put another flower in that space eventually, so I'm just going to kind of put some more color down at the base. So I've kind of got, because I've loaded those two different colors, I've kind of got a little highlight along the stem that I want. It's a little bit pale up here, so I'm going to put in a little more black green. Just move it right over that finger painting that we did in step 2. Now, peony leaves, I love painting leaves. So peony leaves are a lot of fun for me. Let me kind of sketch out, and they come in all varieties. There's a basic shape to them, which I'll sketch in for you right now using my fine liner and a little bit of black green. And it kind of goes something like this. It's almost like there's 3 separate leaves at the tip of the stem. Let me see if I can't put another one in here. Sketch it around. And then as the stem comes away from that top leaf, you have a couple of leaves almost like a bow tie coming off here. I just put that little stem in. And this one is not quite, it usually doesn't have a triangle or a tri-leaf shape. It's usually got a double leaf shape. So you've got kind of a different looking leaf here. Let me see if I can't get that to where you can see it better on the camera. Okay, so that's kind of a basic shape. And if you move further down the stem, now we won't be doing that in this particular video because I just don't have the space for that much stem. But the stems kind of start to droop, and again you have these leaves like this coming off in kind of a dual lobed shape. Yeah, get a little bit more color there. Something like that. So let's just, while you can see it, and I have sketched these a little bit small because as I add color to them, they will get larger. So now I'm working towards my 1/2 inch shape. Actually, I think I will use the orange handled one. It has a longer length out on the brush. So these are natural hair brushes. I'm loading medium in, and plenty of it. Instead of blotting, I'm going to wipe the medium, excess medium, against the lip of the dish. So let me see if I can't show you on the camera here. Uh-oh, looks like I just bounced a little bit. So we're loading this way, and we're getting a lot of medium worked into those bristles. Then I'm wiping it off against the lip of the dish because I'm going to be applying paint. Now I'm going to use a triple load. So I'm going to use chartreuse all the way across the brush, and since it's this brand new clean brush, I'm going to load plenty of it so you can kind of see how much is loaded on that brush. Now we're going to side load into the old gold green. So I've got it about halfway across the brush, and then on the left corner I'm going to put some black green. So I get some shading in there while I'm painting, and I'm going to double check my videography here. We're going to lay in this first leaf. They are longer than I sketched it. And you can see I didn't do much work on that before I reloaded. And I'm going to come in here and put some more paint in. So 2 or 3, I'm doing the triple load again, chartreuse, old gold green with a little bit of black green on the left corner to give me depth and shading. And now we'll pull that leaf together, and same thing on the other side. Chartreuse, old gold green, black green. And we'll pull up this one right here, this little leaf edge here. And you see me turning, rotating, and then I'm going to pull in a slightly different direction so that I get a little bit of shading and a little bit of vein work on there as well. Now I think I'll just smooth out a little bit and maybe put a couple of highlights in there. I'm going to use the wipeout tool. I'll pull up this way and pull out. And then we're going to take a brush that I have now wiped the excess paint off of the brush, so we're not carrying nearly as much paint because we're actually going to remove paint here to get those highlights in those leaves and just soften them a little bit. Let's push that one out since we pulled the other one in, and we will soften this way. And now just clean up the edge a little bit, and we have the top leaf finished. Now let's work on the bottom 2 leaves that will show up on our piece here in a minute. These will just take one load at because it's not that big of a leaf. And maybe we'll do a turn back on that one. Ooh, I think it's going to work. Let's turn it back, use the wipeout tool, kind of pull that back, and now soften it with the edge of the flat edge of the brush. So you see we've got kind of a basic shape there. I'm going to make this dent just a little bit longer so that we have more of that peony shape, and change that outside edge a bit. And for the last one, we'll do the same thing. Triple load, chartreuse with old gold green and a little bit of black green on the left corner. And we'll come in here this way. And pull out this direction. Now I think I will just clip that a little bit, pull that down, and just shape it a little bit better using my wipeout tool. Oop, I got hair in it, so I'm going to use, now this is just a little bit of plastic tack, you know, the stuff that you hang posters with. I'm going to grab that hair that just landed, and I think it's one of mine. Yes, it is. It just landed in the middle of my leaf. So let's get that out of there before we do any more detail work on it. And we'll pull that in. And I think we'll do a little bit of highlighting along this edge. Just that. And then maybe pull this back in. And I think we're done with those leaves. Now we're not going to take the time on the video to go through these bottom 2 leaves, but you see how they're sketched. They do end up being a little bit larger than these leaves up here. So we'll take that off. I'll give you a good look at that. Ooh, and if I decide to, I might put a little bit of more highlight on that leaf. Take a little bit more off on this one. And if you want a lot of detail, you can come in with a fine liner. Now I've loaded this with medium, this fine liner, and I'm going to pick up old gold green and black green on it, and you can come in and sketch some veining if you want that much detail. So this is step number 2, putting in the stems and leaves. And you can do as many of these as you like. If you want to show a little bit of veining here, you certainly can. I wouldn't get too detailed just because you don't want it taking away the viewer's interest in the focal point, which is the actual flower. But I just love painting leaves. They can make or break your painting in so many ways. Let's just pull this one in a little bit like that, and maybe out like that. And there we have it. We are done with those leaves, and I think we will call it quits on this video. Now, in the next video, we'll actually put the leaf in, probably along this edge somewhere is where we'll actually put that main leaf, and then we'll probably put a couple up in here too. But you've seen close up how it's worked in one fire method. And you just put as much detail and as much highlighting as you want on those leaves. But remember, highlighting and detail always bring things forward. So just be careful. I can get carried away on leaves, and pretty soon my leaves are dominating my design rather than the flower, especially since I leave the flower to the last step, painting from back to front. So all the detail will go in on a much later step on this peony. All right, for now, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your kind attention. And if you have any questions, be sure and give me a call at 970-799-1788. Or you can slip me an email at khpendleton, PENDLETON @hotmail.com. I'm sorry, I don't really read comments. I'm not much of a social media person, so I don't think you can leave a comment for these videos. I'd really much rather hear your voice. Thank you so much. God bless each of you. Bye now.